So when you think Nobel Peace Prize, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's the absolute peak, right? The ultimate symbol of achievement in making the world a more peaceful place. It's like this global seal of approval. But to really get what the prize is all about, we've got to go right back to the very beginning. It all starts right here, with this one phrase from the will of Alfred Nobel himself. He wanted to reward the person who did the most for fraternity between nations. I mean, it's such a simple but powerful idea, isn't it? Just bringing people together. Over the decades, that original idea has kind of grown, you know? The Norwegian Nobel Committee now looks for these huge, game-changing contributions in 4 key areas. Peace, of course, but also human rights, humanitarian aid, and the spread of freedom. That's a massive, noble mission. And this is where things start to get a little tricky. Because for an institution that's built on such incredibly high ideals, its history is anything but simple. So has the prize always hit that high bar? Well, let's just say it's complicated. Yeah, because for all its prestige, the Nobel Peace Prize actually has this long and really fascinating history of controversy. And we're not talking about small disagreements here. We're talking about huge debates that question the very meaning of the prize itself. When you look at the criticisms, they tend to fall into a few different buckets. You've got the winners themselves who become controversial after they get the prize. Then there are the choices that are questionable from the get-go. There have even been awards for work that was later disproven and, get this, times when people have flat out refused to accept the honor. This really points to a fundamental problem, doesn't it? The prize is given to people, and people are, well, they're complicated. Some Nobel winners, and not just for the Peace Prize, have been called out later for things they've done or believed that seem to go completely against what the award stands for. Just look at these examples from the broader Nobel world. Alexis Carrel won for medicine but was later known for his Nazi sympathies. Daniel Gajusek, another medicine laureate, was convicted of child abuse decades after he won. Cases like these really force you to ask some tough questions about separating the person from their work.
But maybe the most infamous Peace Prize controversy ever is this one. In 1973, the prize was split between Henry Kissinger, the U.S. Secretary of State, and Le Duc Tho, a North Vietnamese politician. They got it for negotiating the Paris Peace Accords to end the Vietnam War. Kissinger accepted, but Le Duc Tho refused. He made this incredibly powerful point that there wasn't actually peace in his country. Wow. It just perfectly shows the tension between awarding an effort versus a real result.
And just to add another layer to this whole thing, we're not just talking about a medal and some prestige. The prize also comes with a pretty hefty cash award. We're talking around 950,000 euros. That money definitely adds another dimension to what's at stake here. Now look, it is so easy to focus on all the controversy. But if we did that, we'd be missing the much bigger part of the story. Because for all its flaws, the prize has absolutely been a powerful force for good. It shines this huge global spotlight on some of the most courageous people in history. I mean, just look at this timeline. You have the Red Cross back in 1917 for its incredible work with prisoners of war, Martin Luther King Jr. in 1964 for his nonviolent battle for civil rights, Nelson Mandela in 1993 for ending apartheid, and then Malala Yousafzai in 2014, a teenager fighting for education for all kids. Every single one of them represents a true, world-changing legacy. So, where does that leave us? It feels like we have two different stories. On one hand, you have this perfect, shiny ideal of what the prize should be. And on the other, you have the messy, complicated, and controversial reality. How do we make sense of both? You know, maybe the controversies aren't a sign that the prize is broken. Maybe they're just a reflection of how incredibly difficult and messy the struggle for peace actually is. Peace is almost never a clean, simple process. So maybe it makes sense that the prize honoring it would be just as complicated. And that really brings us to the big question I want to leave you with. The Nobel Peace Prize is not perfect. No way. It's given by humans to humans, and it gets tangled up in the messy politics of the day. But it also holds up this incredible beacon for courage and for progress. So what do you think? In a world as complex as ours, is having a flawed prize that inspires so many people better than having no prize at all?